Hello, team. Welcome to another ATP Geopolitics video with myself, Jonathan MS Pitts. This is Ukraine War news update. First part, though, for the 13th of August 2024. It's not going to be my hits and losses video. I'm out on an excursion today, and I'm out all day, so I may or may not get a chance to do that upon my return. This is just what I had ready to do yesterday, never got a chance. And this is, I'm only going to do probably the military aid section of this. Is just a few bits and pieces. I'm going to start with Senator Lindsey Graham. So he's a Republican who's been in Kiev visiting Zelensky, indeed, as well as others. He is someone who's flip flopped a little bit on Ukraine. He hasn't really, but he was kind of held in check by Trump during the 7 month impasse in Congress. Otherwise, he's been like super supportive of Ukraine. He was held in check and had to kind of go down the it should be a loan and not a military aid package. But now there are three things. I could play you all of this, but I'm in a little bit of a hurry. So the three things he talks about here is one, he wants an invitation for Ukraine to join NATO, and I think he wants that before the end of the year. Two, in December time, he's expecting another package, and he talks of aid package to Ukraine, and he expects that to be beneficial to the US in terms of employment, tax revenue, and R&D. So the information coming back from the battlefield to help to produce American equipment so that the US can become itself will be in a better position as a result of that information. That's I've talked about that plenty of times. All the arguments for aid packages going to Ukraine from allied countries. He explicitly talks to those ideas. And the third one, and this is one that's been causing a lot of excitement, is he's saying if you're a retired F-16 pilot and you're looking to fight for freedom, they will hire you here. He said, I've just spoken to Zelensky, he says, about this. So this is essentially coming straight from Zelensky. They're going to look throughout NATO nations for willing retired fighter pilots to come help them until they can get their pilots trained. So in this interim period where they're frantically trying to train F-16 pilots, but might have more aircraft and pilots, because you need far more pilots than aircraft, because you need to rotate your pilots over different missions and whatnot. But he is calling out for, and therefore Zelensky is calling out for, this kind of mercenary unit. Like we talked about the potential for this previously, of um, pilots who have retired maybe or no longer flying, uh, that have the experience from allied nations to come over and fly for Ukraine. That's absolutely incredible. And Lindsey Graham there was really explicit on all of those things. All of those ideas are vehemently, very much pro-Ukrainian. Really good to hear that from Lindsey Graham. I should play you that whole video clip at some point. Right. Interesting report on the performance of the British donated Stormer HVM SHORAD, so short range air defense system. Do they use essentially Starstreak? The otherwise would be used as man pads. You can have Starstreak in a single man pad portable air defense system on the held on the shoulder, or you can have them in arrays of sort of three. These are on a tracked base in Ukrainian hands. A number of these have been given to Ukraine, while the crew of one donated system has downed 70 drones since it was delivered to Ukraine. These have been apparently very useful for the Ukrainians and well received. We've seen a number of pieces of video footage coming from Stormers showing them shooting down drones. German government comments, says German aid to Ukraine, on the Ukrainian operation in the Kursk region. Well, a government spokesman from Germany mostly refused to provide information, only confirmed that it's a secretly prepared operation, and hinted that there was no consultation with the German government. This is similar to the idea that the Americans didn't know about the Kursk operation until it happened. A spokesperson for the MD announced that there is only one regulation for weapons supplied by Germany, compliance with international law, and Ukraine is doing that. A spokesperson for the Foreign Office told Politico that the defense of Ukraine is not limited to its own territory. No other information, confirmations, or assessments published by official bodies have been heard. So that is good news for the Ukrainians, that this appears to be a validation of their maneuvers into Kursk, and that Germany would not stand in the way of such activity. The EU is launching a humanitarian initiative for demining in Ukraine, allocating around €2 million. The press service of the EU representation of Ukraine has said, as part of the initiative, 16 Belgian Malinois will be sent to Ukraine together with 8 Ukrainian mentors. The project is aimed at cleaning up the liberated territories, including Mykolaiv, Kherson, and Kharkiv regions, which have suffered greatly from the war. Good news there, and thank you to Belgium for that. Now, moving on to Russian bits and pieces, Russians have published a photo of an FAB 500 with a glide module on a Su-24 frontline bomber. Ukrainians have suggested that, quote, the enemy had to adapt the old Su-24 to the glide module due to the shortage of modern Su-34s. Wow. So PS01 here says, who thought that Russian resources were infinite? This is possibly good news for the Ukrainians that they have indeed shot down enough Su-34s that the Russians are having to adapt Su-24s to drop guided glide bombs in the need for airframes that are able to do that job. And of course, they're not able to do the job without some kind of modifications, but this is potentially really good news for the Ukrainians. And penultimately, Russia's answer to the famous Ukrainian Baba Yaga heavy drone, the Koshchei prototype, is claimed to carry a load of 40 to 80 kilograms for up to 40 kilometers. They also claim that it is a domestic product with only Russian components. Now, if that is the case, then that is a concern for the Ukrainians, because the Ukrainians have had really good experience with using Baba Yaga drones, these octocopters or hexacopters that can carry heavy loads and operate as bombers, or removing stuff from the battlefield, or whatever it is they're being used for, usually for dropping munitions. And yeah, this is potentially a bit of a bonus for the Russians if they have indeed uh, designed and created this thing for real. You can never quite tell. Sometimes they're very upbeat about certain things, and then you get them to the battlefield. They're battlefield tested, and they're found to be very much wanting. Koshchei is a legendary male villain in Russian folklore who typically competes for or entraps a rival male's love interest. He often has a spell that prevents him from being killed. So a bit like Baba Yaga, this mythical entity, that is the name that's been attributed to the Ukrainian version of this. They're going to folklore. Let's hope it is mythological in capability too. And then also, as according to Roy here, the Russians have claimed that a prototype interceptor drone can reach speeds of 300 kilometers per hour, the one you can see at the moment on the screen. It is apparently armed with 4 cartridges of pellets. They claim it has an automatic search capability with target recognition and target. In other words, this, I presume, goes out and shoots other drones with effectively shotgun cartridges. And yeah, there it is. So that's it in action. They are possibly developing that and producing that. So there you go. That's enough for my first video of the day. It's going to be probably a long time until you hear me again. Apologies. Sorry, not sorry. Out for the day. Take care and speak soon.